Alright, what is up guys? Audio testing like a boss. You're going to be looking at this video clip here, which is from Mercader Gaming, and you can check out its channel, put a link and or annotation on the screen. Probably going to be a link down in the description, so feel free to check that out. I believe this is a flawless gameplay with a jet, Battlefield 3. What's up? Pretty awesome, guys, I know. Mercader is kind of a fucking boss, so definitely check him out. He's more into World of Warcraft gaming videos, so, you know, if you're looking for something along those lines, that's generally what he's going to have, but keep in mind, it's a gaming channel. He has all this kind of stuff. In this case, Battlefield 3. So, what I want to talk about today actually doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the gameplay you're going to be seeing in the background here. It's actually going to be about what we see in society as, you know, some trends and other things that you'll see that often, there's various trends out there. You know, there's, I don't know, you can call them, you got your emos, which aren't necessarily, though that has like a lot of, controversy surrounding that. You got your emos, you got your jocks, it's really all just high school cliques that you would fit into. All the various high school cliques, if that makes, if you know what that term means. It's basically like groups. All the groups in high school, college, middle school? I don't know. I don't know, how old my viewers are, but if you're in middle school, I believe that something similar is probably present there. But often, we'll see a group of people, and looking in on it, you can either have positive or negative feelings, depending on, I guess your social background at school or at home or just in life in general. But looking in on some of these, we can often see that, hey, that emo kid, I bet he's super depressed because he wears black clothes and, skinny jeans. Yes, often, judging a book by its cover is associated with a lot of cliques that you'll see in school. And then you can also look at other people and be like, oh, hipster, he must be a total douchebag, you know what I mean? Or jocks, oh, all they care about is sports. I think often we will look at a certain group of people and we can, hold a certain prejudice, I guess you could say, towards them. Not necessarily like a racial prejudice such as racism, although that is, a very common prejudice that is, within many schools and even around the country, if not the world, which actually, quite frankly, around the world is probably a more accurate description. But I'm getting off topic. In school, you're going to find a lot of these cliques. You're going to find these groups. You're going to try to figure out where you fit into the equation. Often, I've found myself in many situations not knowing, like, going into school and being like, where do I fit in? What is my group that I hang out with? I could never really figure it out for myself necessarily. And quite frankly, the way I look at it, I like to hang out with various people. I don't like to limit myself just to one group of people. And the only way you're going to get out of that is when you don't necessarily judge someone by, don't judge a book by its cover. You got to learn something about some people before you just go and say, oh, I don't want to hang out with them because they're probably like this. Because then you're just kind of setting yourself up for, less friends, less relationships with people that you could possibly really enjoy. I know a lot of people that I've met, like, a story I actually have is one of my friends. He's actually, was a good friend. We don't hang out so much anymore, but, we're still good friends. He's an awesome guy. His name is Jacob. And Jacob, freshman year, actually, I was going out with this girl, and it's actually a pretty funny story. He was in my electronics class, my basic electronics class. I think it was Mr. Smith. Anyways, so he's this football player, right? Freshman year. I don't think he played football after that. But, so my girlfriend went to a game one Friday, and I didn't go with her because I couldn't at that time. So I was like, oh, no, you go and have fun and everything. And, all's good and everything. Monday, show up to school, and she's wearing some guy's random, like, football sweatshirt that the football players get. I'm like, just trying to play it cool, like, oh, no big deal, I'm not worried about it, And, so, so I asked her, oh, whose sweatshirt is that? And she's like, oh, it was this guy at the football game, so automatically, in my mind, I'm like, oh, shit, about to, have to beat some face in because that's totally my personality. Actually, it wasn't, and you know, I really changed often in that relationship. So you know, there's kind of a reason that it didn't work out. But funny story is, so I find out it was Jacob, and someone's like, "Oh yeah, it was that Jacob kid, I think." Yeah, he just let her borrow his sweatshirt. You know, no big deal. I'm like, "Oh yeah, dude, that's no big deal." And I'm sitting in basic electronics and everything later during 4th period, and everything before that happened at 1st and 2nd period, you know, between those two time periods. And sitting in basic electronics in 4th period, and suddenly, you know, we're taking roll and everything. Mr. Smith is like, "All right, Carson the Doe. All right, we got Aaron. Aaron, you here? Okay, Aaron's here. Andrew, all right, you're here. Jacob, are you here?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm here." And I look back and I'm like, "That's fucking Jacob. That is Jacob." So I'm like, by now I'm like, "Oh, I am pissed. You know, I'm pissed." And I know it's him because he's wearing his football jersey. I'm pissed off. You know. Now that I look back on it, you know, that was really immature of me. But I'm like, "Oh, this guy, he's just some jock douchebag who's just trying to steal my girlfriend." You know, all that kind of stuff. So I decided to, like, you know, I turn around, and keep in mind, we're the freshmen in this class, and there's a bunch of juniors and seniors. There's, like, barely any freshmen in this class, but, you know, him and I were both freshmen. And so, you know, really probably looked super immature to all the seniors and juniors and everything, and they're probably like, "Wow," you know what I mean? Looking back on it, if I would have seen something like this happen to where I am now, which I am a junior, I'd probably be like, "Oh, my God, freshmen. Freshmen, freshmen, freshmen." You know what I mean? But so I look back at him, I'm like, "Hey, are you Jacob?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm Jacob." I'm like, "Yeah, so I heard you let my girlfriend wear your sweatshirt at the game. What's up with that?" He's like, "Oh, she was cold." I'm like, "Yeah, I bet she was fucking cold. Are you trying to get her?" And, you know, I basically just, like, you know, fucking, like, chew him out, basically. And it was kind of ridiculous now that I think about it. It's just a funny story, though. But that's just, like, you know, that's why you don't want to judge a book by its cover. You don't want to just look at someone and be like, "That guy is this, so therefore this." You know what I mean? You don't want to be like, "That guy's a jock, so obviously, you know, blah, blah, blah." It turns out that later in the school year, I actually got to know him because my girlfriend and I broke up. So it was like, you know, whatever. I apologized to him, and we ended up talking. And it turns out we had a lot of common interests. You know? So you can't judge a book by its cover, because actually from the rest of that school year, we were bros, you know what I mean? We hung out and everything, and it was awesome. Really good friend, and I'm glad I met him, and I'm glad that I got past the whole judging him. And looking back on it, I'm like, wow, that was really fucking immature, you know what I mean? And if I could change it, I don't know if I would. Because, I mean, that was a big lesson for me, you know? It allowed me to see, like, hey, I judged this guy before I even got to know him, and that wasn't really fair to me, you know what I mean? And so that's the biggest lesson I could really give to you guys, is to just don't judge a book by its cover, and, you know, don't limit yourself to the relationships you could possibly have in high school, you know what I mean? Because he ended up being a really great guy, and I had a lot of fun with him. Anyways, this clip, once again, was provided by Mercader Gaming on YouTube. You can check him out. I'll put a link down here in the description. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope that you learned something out of this, and I bid you all farewell.